Well, as the Dishonorable Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame has consistently demonstrated or displayed, today you saw a display of ignorance and illiteracy on very basic things that you expect a person who occupies such high office, to understand. But before I go into those issues, it's important for us to respond to certain reckless and irresponsible comments that have been made by the Dishonorable Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame. I'm sure that over the last few days you've seen videos of the Attorney General somewhere in London in the United Kingdom claiming that the case of the accused persons have crumbled under cross-examination. It is important to put it on record that the only person whose case has crumbled, the only person who has been exposed as a crooked character, a dishonorable character, and a liar throughout the proceedings is not Mr. Jakpa, neither is it Honorable Ato Forsen, but rather Godfred Yeboah-Dame. You would recall that when Mr. Jakpa dropped his bombshell of 23rd May 2024 and asserted in open court under oath that the Attorney General has sought to coerce and impress upon him to implicate the Honorable Ato Forsen, the Attorney General issued a press release. And in that press release, he was categorical that he has not met or contacted or sought the cooperation of any of the accused persons. He was categorical. It's been established beyond every reasonable doubt that that claim by the Attorney General was palpable falsehood. He lied. Because he himself has indeed confirmed in open court that contrary to what he stated in that press release, he's been meeting Jakpa at odd hours. He's been calling him, he's been texting him. Yet, he claimed to the media that he had not at any point in time made contact with Mr. Jakpa or any of the accused persons. You will also recall a claim by the spokesperson of the Attorney General that the Attorney General was entrapped. He never set out to meet Mr. Jakpa anywhere, but that it was a Supreme Court judge who sought to meet him at his residence only for him to be ambushed by Mr. Jakpa. That has also turned out to be a lie, because you've seen from the evidence that during cross-examination by Mr. Jakpa that indeed it was the Attorney General who first suggested a meeting at the residence of the said Supreme Court judge. He's the only one who has been proven to be a liar, to be a dishonorable character as far as these proceedings are concerned. You recall that when in the aftermath of that bombshell by Mr. Jakpa, Godfred Dame actually issued a statement and claimed publicly that he had a video of Ato Forsen coming to him to beg him to drop this case. Where is the video? You media men have got silence. You are not asking for that video. You are not asking the right questions relative to that claim. Where is that video? At least we said we had an audio tape showing unprofessional and criminal conduct on his part. We promised to put that out. We have put that out. They lied that the tape was doctored. In court, they could not substantiate that claim of the tape being doctored. The tape has actually been added into evidence as authentic. So throughout these proceedings, it is Godfred Dame who has been exposed over and over again as a liar. He's the one whose case has crumbled, and not Ato Forsen or Richard Jakpa. Now, it is also important to note that as we speak, Godfred Dame has not been able to swear any oath, any affidavit to deny any of these allegations. He rather sought the services of a state attorney at his office to deny the assertions for him. Today, he was confronted by Mr. Jakpa again with those same assertions, and you could not rebut those assertions. So clearly, Godfred Dame is a sinking man who is clutching onto straws, trying to obfuscate issues and confuse lay men, and we must treat those irresponsible comments he made in London with a pinch of salt and the contempt it deserves. But on what happened today, first of all, you saw the Deputy Attorney General urging on Mr. Jakpa that the conversation he had with Godfred Dame was a 26 minutes conversation. but some of their communicators have been making that argument, and that they only brought to court a 16 minutes audio recording, trying to impugn the authenticity of that tape. But Mr. Agyakpa reiterated the point we have always made, and you couldn't see the Attorney General push back, which was that he recorded that 16 minutes 5 seconds tape about 9 to 10 minutes into the conversation, and there is nothing wrong with that. If you call me for a conversation and in good faith I have the conversation with you without recording, but I see that you are proceeding on a criminal tangent, at some point I can choose to record. If I even record 1 second of that conversation and that 1 second tape captures you committing a crime, telling me to falsify my testimony, telling me to testify to your theory and what you know to be true and not what I know to be true, telling me to procure a fake medical excuse and all that, it doesn't matter that it is a 1 second tape. What matters is whether or not you said what is contained on that tape. And today, Agyakpa, reiterated that point very, very beautifully. Also, you saw bare denials by the Deputy Attorney General for and on behalf of his boss about the fact that the AG told Mr. Agyakpa to lie about a fake medical excuse duty because he had intimated in the conversation they had that he was sick. That clearly is not borne out by the evidence, because no such claim is contained on that tape. Mr. Agyakpa dared them to provide that evidence if they had it, and they couldn't provide it because there is no such evidence. In the words of Mr. Agyakpa, he was fit as a fiddle on the morning of 9th April 2024 and was driving to his lawyer when the Attorney General, who is supposed to be the leader of the bar and Minister of Justice, and therefore supposed to be an apostle of the ethics of the profession, told him to lie to the courts, to contrive a fake medical excuse duty and commit a crime. And today he made that point. You saw that the AG could not push back. Again, he reiterated his point that Ken Ofori-Atta and President Akufo-Addo had been mounting pressure on the Attorney General to pursue a clear case of witch hunts, and that this was what Godfred Dami told him. They sought to deny, but he reinforced it, and they could not push back with any credible, fact or evidence. Neither could they dispute the claim by Agyakpa that at one of the meetings he had with the Attorney General at the residence of Justice Kolendi, the Attorney General, the Honorable Godfred Dami, actually said that fancies are cheap, and that if Honorable Atoforsen Perish that thought is convicted, they will have the opportunity to hold a by-election and influence fancies with money. Well, we have news for Godfred Dami and the MPP. Fancies are not cheap. They are very discerning, and they demonstrated that at Asenoff, when in spite of the monetization and the attempt to influence them with money, they voted in line with good conscience, voted for the Honorable Gyakye Kwesi. So they are terribly wrong if they think that fancies are cheap people. But I know that the good people of the central region will take these issues into consideration.
A quick one. How surprised would you say you were when you saw the Attorney General himself in the middle of cross-examination by his deputy, jumping in, taking over to go at Richard Agyakpa? Were you surprised in any way? And where do you see him going with his line of questioning?
Well, I'm not surprised, because what he's doing is playing hide and seek. You see, on issues that border on assertions, evidence given about Mr. Agyakpa, about the person of the Attorney General, he's running away. He's not able to bite the bullet. He's not able to stand up to Agyakpa and cross-examine him. He's not able to confront Agyakpa with any contrary evidence. So, Wafa lawyer, and his lawyer is either Evelyn, the DPP, or his deputy, poor deputy from my region, Tuyayeboa. So they are doing that dirty work for him because he himself lacks the courage to confront Mr. Agyakpa on those assertions that borders on his person. The man says you met him around 12 a.m. on the 9th of 26 March. True or false? That one, you want Tuyayeboa, poor Tuyayeboa, to do that for you? The man says you told him that fancies are cheap. The man says you told him that Ken Ofori-Atta and Akufo-Addo were giving you pressure to persecute Atoforsen. Tuyayeboa was not there. You and I were not there. Only Godfred Dami was there. Why can't he do that cross-examination? always shifting the goalpost. You understand? That is the game he's playing. I was not surprised at all. Even on the issues he himself has decided to pursue under cross-examination, which is about the terms of the contracts, the role of JAGPA and all that, he is displaying ignorance. This is an attorney general who, you heard on that tape we released, was misconstruing a letter of credit as advance payments. Clear illiteracy. He thinks that a letter of credit that has clear condition precedence, it constitutes advance payment. Clear illiteracy. Today too, you heard him in open court suggesting that an ISO certification, which is renewed annually and which is acquired by duly incorporated entities, organizations, companies, for purposes of quality assurance. He was confusing an ISO certification with an incorporation documentation. He thinks that if you see an ISO certificate, it is a certificate of a registration of a company. This man is bankrupt in knowledge about the issues before the court. He is a walking shame, a walking embarrassment, and he continues to make, he continues to ridicule himself because he clearly doesn't understand the issues he's pushing. What is the issue about whether or not Mr. JAGPA passed a promotional examination? What has that got to do with this case? What is the issue about some so-called 68 messages which JAGPA refused to provide a court? Which messages, 90%, constitute motivational messages that Mr. JAGPA has been broadcasting to people on his list? What is the relevance of those so-called motivational messages to the case at heart? The guy has been wasting everybody's time in court. You understand? And contriving to the extent that they are even contriving official government documents. You saw Mr. JAGPA trying to make that point. The rules, of course, didn't allow that, and so the judge did not allow that. But I know that an opportunity will be created by his lawyers for him to make that point very forcefully. This issue about his release letter from the military and why he was released from the military and all that are issues that will be strongly contested with evidence, because JAGPA maintains that what they have brought to court is clearly fake, doctored and contrived. But all these issues have got nothing to do with the critical issues at stake. Did Ato Forson have authorization to write those letters or not? His boss, the finance minister, Setepe, has come to court to say, I authorize him. They are saying that even though you say you authorize him, give us paper. How many ministers of state write letters to their deputies when authorizing them on a daily basis to take action, or when delegating responsibility to them? Master, is that the standard practice? That if Godfred Ame is giving his deputy Tuyan Yeboah a delegated responsibility, he must always write? Setepe says, I authorize him. He's Ato Forson on the face of the letter signed for the minister. He kept the minister in copy. The minister, knowing the consequences of his admission that he authorized Ato Forson, has come to court and said, if at all anything wrong was done, because nothing wrong was done, but if at all anything wrong was done, you have the wrong man, because I authorize him. That one to you say you don't want it, because President Akufo-Addo is giving you pressure to go after Ato Forson because you think fantas are cheap. You think fantas are fools. You understand? The fantas here in court today, we saw some chiefs around. I believe so. I believe so. But what you see here is just symbolic. It is just, a reflection of the outreach that an overwhelming majority of fantas across the country feel, the revulsion they feel about this distasteful, comment that was made by the Attorney General. And the most important thing is that till date he has not been able to dispute it. He himself has not been able to swear an oath. Master, ask Godfred Ame when he comes out of the court, that why can't you swear an oath like JAGPA has sworn an oath testifying to these issues? If JAGPA lies under oath, there will be consequences. He can go to jail for perjury. Godfred Ame doesn't want to go under oath because of two things. Once he swears an oath, he knows that he can be cross-examined. He is afraid of cross-examination. Number two, he knows that if he swears an oath and lies, that he never met JAGPA. He never told him fantas are cheap. He never told him to contrive a fake medical excuse duty. He never told him to implicate Ato Forson. When he peddled those lies, not in a press release, but under oath, he knows he can be prosecuted tomorrow for the offense of perjury. That is what he's running away from. And you allow him to get off the hook, and today he has the effrontery, this crooked, dishonorable character has the effrontery to go and stand in London and run his mouth when you are the first Attorney General in the history of this country who has been reprimanded by a court of competent jurisdiction as having brought or occasioned discomfiture, in other words, embarrassment to the courts, having undermined the judicial process, for which reason you have been advised to stay away from the proceedings and you are refusing to heed the advice. And if you will not heed the advice, come and cross-examine to kwani, hide and seek. When it is about issues about your person, you are dodging like a coward sitting in your chair, whispering into the ears of your deputy. Why can't you do the cross-examination yourself?
You keep referring to the deputy as for what you mean?
Who?
You keep referring to
Oh, because what is his role in this matter? What is his role in this matter? In all the meetings they had under the cover of darkness, he was not there. And it is very sad that he has allowed himself to be used this way. Because you were not there. And yet you are putting it to Mr. Jakpa that my boss never told you that fancies are cheap. Were you there? Were you there?
It's a prosecution case, you would agree?
It's the case of the prosecution. But it's hearsay. Was he there? I put it to you, was he there?
Should that not strengthen your case rather?
Of course, it strengthens our case, and it also allows us the opportunity to make these arguments, exposing the Attorney General. He is a coward. If he thinks that what Jakpa is saying are not true, he should confront him under cross-examination.